Yeah, that's the thing, I mean, and that's one of the things that the program addresses too is expectations because it's so important. Radio's not gonna, or advertising isn't gonna pull your rear end out of the ringer. It's you got to get a lot of things straight on your side too.
You can't save a drowning business, and a lot of people try to use advertising to save a drowning business. It won't work. Uh, they're going to have to be good. There's a lot of business people out here that succeed in spite of themselves, but that's okay. We can help them be more successful.
That's great. Excuse me. Let's see here. Okay, talk a little bit about how you think that radio can do 100% of what an advertiser needs to do in their advertising. They don't need.
We try and ask for 100% of the advertising budget. Don't always get it, usually don't. But we believe that our radio advertising can do the total job for any merchant out here. Newspaper is not very effective. TV, cost prohibitive. Uh, the other problem you run into is a lot of people want to maybe split it up between 2 or 3 or 4 radio stations. And at least they're on radio. But we think they'd be better off if you can take a shotgun and scatter it everywhere, or you can take a rifle and be more targeted at what you want. And that's why we look at more as a rifle type situation, not a shotgun, because we don't want these people out here wasting their money. If you only have certain amount of money, you need to focus it all in one area where it'll work for you. And we know ours works. We don't have to be tested. Matter of fact, we're not going to let you test us. Because you'll always want to have some kind of deal that's really not that good a deal anyway, but you think, somebody will come in and ask you for it. Well, that doesn't happen. It doesn't make any difference. And you can do surveys anyway. We've had people that have run a survey. They had their customers come in. The only place they ran ads was on the radio, on our radio. They do the survey and it comes back and 35% of the people said they found out about them in the newspaper. Well, it didn't happen. People don't know where they hear the advertising. They just don't. And they make assumptions that aren't accurate. And that's why a lot of radio stations have problems, is because, oh my God, everybody saw it in the paper. Well, no, they didn't. Wasn't true.
Wow, that's wild.
We've had successes where we've actually been successful for businesses, and they've become so successful using radio only. Then they would start doing radio. Then they would start advertising in the newspaper. They're fools.
I've heard that happening as well.
Yeah,
I got some extra money now. I'll just burn it.
Yeah. Well, if they were smart, what they do is they burn it on the radio.
Yeah.
Because it already brought them that extra money in, so why not bring in some more?
Yeah. They seem to be making a lot of money selling little soap dishes.
Yeah.
Now I'll sell wine.
Yeah.
Or something. Anyway, give anything else that we haven't touched on that you thought you might want to include in what we're talking about?
I don't know, because I haven't even looked at the
Uh-huh.
DVDs in quite some time. I don't know. I'm not really sure what. I'm not really sure what Norton wants to do with all this anyway.
We've been pretty comprehensive. There's one thing I'd like to ask, if
Okay.
I may. If you could give us a little bit of a better understanding of the scope of your operation in terms of, how many markets you're in, what kind of, what kind of business you're doing, things like that.
Okay, the Moberly operations, we have 3 radio stations here. We have an AM and 2 FMs. We're doing right around $2.6 million a year here. The Then I have the Lebanon, Waynesville market. The Waynesville stations we just added a couple years ago. We have an AM and FM in each of those two, but I consider it one company. Waynesville's about 20 miles down the road from Lebanon. This year they did $2.5 million with a $500,000 increase over last year. We have the stations in Farmington, Festus, which is 2 AMs and an FM, and we're doing right about $3 million billing with those operations. And then I have the very small stations at Bethany and Cameron, and they're about 25 miles apart, but I consider them as one group, one cluster. And they're doing 1.2 million, but they're in very small markets. I would expect to probably see, and I may put the Norton concepts up there. I think those stations really ought to get up to at least $2 million a year. It's going to take a little work, but I think we can get those. But we're in a real small market there.
But even your largest market is, like you said.
So we're the largest town we're in is basically about 13,000.
So those are some pretty
good numbers.
Pretty good numbers for markets of this
Right.
size. That's great.
Well, it's like the Waynesville station. It's an AM FM there. I mean, most of the business is done on the FM. It's a Class A FM, 6,000 watts, and they did $1 million this past year.
Well, I congratulate you on your success.
We're pretty happy.
That's exciting.
Now I'm going on vacation.
Is that where you're leaving to do?
I'm leaving Sunday.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure that we haven't covered everything that he wanted to.
Well, I didn't quite understand exactly what he wanted and why, what he was going to do with it. That's what I didn't quite understand.
Basically, it's just good to give some scope to everything else that we've done. Your belief in the power of the Warner concept system to deliver results, increase budgets and things like that. You can just kind of give me one last little deal. I know I have you on here several times saying that already, but if I walk out of here with one more statement knowing it, then I know I've got it. You know what I mean? And then you can, at the end of that, you can just kind of give it whatever you want, but just one last time stating your confidence that in your investment in this program.
The Warner concept will work. It will work for any size market, the smallest market, the largest market. It helps bring clients together with you. They are learning at the same time. We're not just teaching them. They're getting the expert opinion as far as they're concerned that is helping lead them to become a more profitable company. With the concept, they become a better client for the radio station. They'll spend more money with the radio station. And then they in turn also become an ambassador for the radio station because they talk to other businesses and they'll talk about the success they've had with our broadcast properties, and maybe they help bring somebody else in the fold that we would never have had before.